And we're back on Shardlight Radio. I'm your host, Mr. Ben. And hey guys, it's been a while. Missed a few weeks here. There was some illness in the family, the holidays, and then I actually had a Versus tournament that I was doing a lot of prep for that took place on January 11th. So because of that, this show got pushed a little bit. What I should have done was just taken a break over the holidays, but hindsight's 2020. Okay. So what I want to do today is talk a little bit about Conviction. Now, this is not going to be a full Conviction review, but I want to talk about 5 specific cards in that expansion. Again, for anyone who's not familiar, Conviction will be the 3rd LCG style release for Argent Saga. They refer to these as expansions as opposed to sets. The sets are the booster pack, Betrayal, Revelations. Conviction is going to be like Genesis and Generations, and this releases on January 23rd. Now, there are 25 cards in this expansion. 20 of them are new cards. You cannot get foils in this time around, and that's brought the price down to only $20 a box instead of 25. 5 of the cards in this expansion are not new cards. 5 of the cards are reprints from previous expansions. I believe all of them were Betrayal cards. Yeah, looking it up. All of these were Betrayals. 3 of them were rares in Betrayal, and 2 were commons. There are 1 for each element, no Argent cards being reprinted in the full art format. The positive is full art cards are cool. I do think it's neat to be able to get your hands on various different types of the same card. It's kind of a fun thing to chase after, and it's something to put in there that doesn't necessarily... So sometimes promos are really frustrating because they become staple cards in a particular deck, and if you can't get the promo, it feels really crummy to not be able to play a strong deck at all. So by having regular versions of cards for the people who just want to be able to play the game, and having promos for the people who like that chase and have that kind of disposable income, I think it satisfies a larger overall percentage of the card playing community, I guess. So the 5 cards that are getting reprinted in Convictions are Delayed Poison, Skytree Command Center, Longinus, Tidal Rush, and Rao Wyvern Rider. Now, the latter 3, Longinus, Tidal Rush, and Rao Wyvern Rider, are all rares out of Betrayal. Because of the way these cards are priced, you're paying a little under $1 a card for each of them. Now, what does this mean for the rares that you're holding from Betrayal? Well, nothing. Longinus is the card that's currently selling for the highest price on TCG Player, and it's only selling for $1.06. Now, I suspect that price is going to come down a little bit once the full arts are released. I mean, maybe some people want the foils more than the full art, so maybe it'll stay around that. But at around $1 a card for Tidal Rush, Longinus, and significantly less than $1 a card for Skytree Command Center and Delayed Poison, the reprinting of these cards is not going to do anything to seriously impact the value of the cards that you already have. Another positive, I think, with these cards is that they all do look really cool, and these are cards that absolutely deserve to see play. Now, Skytree Command Center in particular is a card that I think is being held in check by the existence of Zephyr Crystal. And if there's a format where Zephyr Crystal doesn't exist, or something happens to that easy infinite augment destruction to allow the Skytree Command Center to actually see a little more play, I think this is a card that is going to be everywhere. It's just so good to be able to do something that green wants to do anyway, and as you're taking these air units off the board to your hand, you're getting effects for doing that, but also you're building this essentially free recruit that's going to come in at some point where, oh no, I'm just going to pop these counters instead of paying shards, and you can have a really big bursty turn. Great card, but again, very vulnerable to Zephyr Crystal. Delayed Poison is another fantastic card. It's a very cheap hard removal. Yes, it is a little frustrating that there are ways to answer it by making your unit untargetable or causing the equipment to not, or the augment rather, to not be able to equip. But there's counterplay to most things in this game, and I think that's fine. That doesn't make this card any worse. Now, playing it when your opponent has, say it with me, a Zephyr Crystal in play and the shards to pay for it is a real feels bad moment, but clearly it's a card that you have to play around the existence of Zephyr Crystal to actually get value out of it. Longinus, this is a card that any deck that's running a gear package probably wants to play. Between Longinus and Caliber, they both have different situations where they are fantastic, great cards, down to just decent, just nice little stat buff. So Longinus getting the full art treatment, particularly since Caliber already got it, it seems like there's a symmetry there to have both of those kind of staple gears given the full art treatment. Tidal Rush is absolutely one of my favorite water cards. It's Ancient Serpent's Breath, just a little bit more expensive and does a little bit better stuff for you. It's not an automatic 3 of in every water deck, but I certainly have it in the vast majority of the water decks that I play. And finally, the Rao Wyvern Rider. I mean, as far as fire cards go, this is a good card. It fits in with the quickness and the fact that it leaves a sticky body on the board even if you deal with the initial body. Kind of wish the Rider was also a dragon, but that's neither here. That's sort of the problem with all fire cards, is they're all just a little bit not quite good enough feeling. But Riverine Rider is certainly a card that I'm not bummed to see getting a reprint. So the individual cards I have no problems with. The overall look of the cards I have no problems with. I'm actually excited to get my hands on these. But am I excited to get my hands on them via a fixed rarity expansion pack at $20 a piece? I mean, it's better. It's objectively better than the last 2 Argent Saga expansions in terms of what I feel like you're going to get value for it. They were, I think, a lot more clear up front about the reprints. Genesis and Generations, you bought those out and then realized later that you were actually buying cards that you're going to pull in packs. So to have it doing reprints of cards that are already out and we kind of understand the relationship of what we're buying, I think all of that is a significant improvement. $20 a box still feels a little rough when I'm buying 55 card versus expansions for about half that cost. So have they figured out the exact right balance between what they put in these packs and what they're asking us to pay for them? No, I don't think they've got it exactly right. But I do think they have done a great job in making an exciting new expansion. A lot of the new cards are really cool looking, and I will get into the actual new Conviction cards on a future episode. So, till next time, go win some games.